my name is Trinh and today I'm here to film my disappointing books of 2019. So I have 6 books to talk about. In the past, I never rank them. I always tell you the books that I'm disappointed from January to December is always in like a certain order. But this time I'm going to rank the books because I think it's fun and in my mind the ranking makes sense. And of course a disclaimer, if you happen to like the books that I am dragging in this video, please, I am not dragging you. You can like the books. Of course you have your own reasons to like the books, then it's totally fine. But these books pissed me off some way or another and I'm here to tell you why I was so disappointed in them when I read them, you know, in 2019. In this video, I'm going from the least disappointing books to the most disappointing books. Number 6 on this list is Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ng. This is the least disappointing book, but at the same time, you know, I'm kind of angry. So in this book we follow an interracial family. The father is Chinese, the mother is white, and of course they have biracial children. In the beginning we find out that the middle child, Lydia, who is the favorite child of both parents, she is dead. And of course we're trying to find out what really happened to her, how did she die. And then in this book, what's really amazing is that we follow the family past, present, and future. We get background information for the mom, the dad, the kids. Everything was just planned out. And then of course in the present time we get to see how all of the family members cope with Lydia's death, how the father became a fucking asshole because he was seeing another woman. And then the mother, she's very sad because when Lydia was alive, she was, like I said, the favorite child, and the mom was pushing her dreams onto Lydia. She's like very devastated that, you know, her middle child is dead, and in a way her dream is dead because no one is gonna carry out her plans. The older brother, he's trying to find out what really happened, and he thought that this neighbor killed his sister. Everything was good except the ending. I really appreciate this book because the author does a really good job with showing and telling. I think she definitely does a lot with showing because she shows us the character, she shows us what's going on in the past, present, and future. Well, past and present. I will talk more about this future shit. Everything was really good because you get to see the characters and then you get to see their interaction and you get to see how they're all horrible in their own ways, like how the father is so fucking annoying, and then the mom, she did some really shitty stuff, and then even Lydia, the girl who's dead in the very beginning, she's not even a good person. There's a lot of times where I'm just like, you are so horrible to your brother, like you are so freaking mean. Not just that, she is the kind of person who likes attention. Whenever her older brother is getting some good attention, she must say some shit to get her parents' attention. The ending, this is the part where I was just so frustrated. Like I said, everything was just so good. The author does such a good job showing us what's going on, and then at the very end, I kid you not, I think it's like the last chapter, but more specifically the last 2 to 3 pages, the author just tells us what's gonna happen in the future. And I was like, no, there's no way you're just gonna sit here and just tell us what's gonna happen and then the book ends. That was so frustrated because I was hoping for a better ending, and also I was hoping for the worst for the father, James. I don't like the father from the beginning to the end, so I was really hoping that he would leave the family because I don't like him at all. I want him to fucking leave. But then also Nate, I feel like his character is so important because out of the 5 characters, I kind of like Nate the most. Just a little bit. And I feel like his character arc is so important because basically there's a guy who has a crush on Nate. We see some gay shit going on, and I don't like the fact that at the end the author is like, haha, they're together, and it's like, excuse me, Nate is half Chinese, half white, and we know that there's homophobia in the Asian culture. There's no way that his father is okay with this because throughout this book, Nate really struggles with gaining his father's approval. So I got myself angry. Wow. This book is on this list. I enjoy for the most of it, but the ending really ruined it for me. Well, not really, but I was just really disappointed with the ending. The 5th book on this list is Descendant of the Crane by Joan He. So I read this book in May. I read this with Melanie, Chloe, and Spencer. I'm so glad that I did not have a high expectation for this book because trust me, I was let down. This book follows this woman, this princess, there we go. Her name is Hasina, and in the beginning of the book we find out that her father was killed. She becomes the queen. She wants to find out who killed her father, and she has to enlist the help of the soothsayer. But in this world, it's actually illegal for people to have magic. I don't know. I don't remember much because I pushed this book out of my mind. Where do we start with this book? I don't care about the characters. I don't care about the plot. The writing isn't even that good. Everything was just messy. There were too many plot twists because by the end, I was just kind of fed up. I kid you not, there were so many plot twists, and I feel like since we have seen so many plot twists, it feels kind of cheap. I'm not gonna lie, I had to watch my wrap-up video in the past, you know, like my May and June wrap-up, past me talk about the writing. And I remember this because it's like, oh yeah, that was so bad. There were some really good quotes, but overall, I don't think the writing is good because it's not clear on what's going on. And then of course for the characters, I just don't care about them. I really don't. And then even for like the two main characters to get together, I was like, whatever, like I don't care. Because by that point, I just wanted to finish this book so I can talk about it in the live show. That's my feeling with this book. And like I said, I'm really glad I did not have a high expectation on this book, because if I do have a high expectation, this book would be like #1 or #2. But no, it's just #5. #4 on this list is The Kiss Quotient by Helen Hoang. I know that this is a very well-known adult romance novel because everyone has read this book and of course they love this book, but I know 2 people who don't like this book, and of course I kept their criticism on the back of my mind when I read this book, and I'm so glad I did, because I did not like this book at all. This book follows a main character named Stella. She has Asperger's. She's very successful when it comes to her job, but when it comes to romance, she's not very good at it. So she hires a male escort named Michael, and he helps her with relationship and yada yada yada. There are 2 things that I like about this book. I like the rep for the main character. She has Asperger, and I believe the author also has Asperger's. I think it's very important to have a really good representation. And then also the Vietnamese culture. Oh my god, that was really good because the love interest Michael, he is half Swedish, half Vietnamese, I think. And we get to see his family, like from his mom's side, a lot, because his mom is Vietnamese, and then of course we have the grandmother, we have his sisters. They're all Vietnamese and they have like Vietnamese food. It was great because I'm Vietnamese. I love seeing that shit in the books that I read, but other than that, everything else was just bad, okay? I don't like the love interest Michael. I think he's very possessive, he's very demanding. I watched my old video because I don't remember what happened, and past me said that in this book there's a few times where Michael says that he wants Stella to be jealous, even though they're not in a real relationship at all, because it's more like a working relationship, because Stella offers him money, okay? Like she literally was like, I will give you this much money if you pretend to be my boyfriend or some shit like that. I don't even remember because I pushed this book out of my mind. I want to talk about this specific scene because I saved this for this video. I did not talk about it in my wrap-up video back in like July because it will make that video too long, so I'm just gonna bring it here. There is a character named Philip, and he is a co-worker of Stella. He's a dick. I don't like him because he's just really mean, and then it's so weird that in the middle of this book he's just like, Stella, I actually have feelings for you, and I'm kind of jealous that you're seeing this guy Michael. Like, is he even good? It was weird because it's like, okay, you were so shitty to Stella in the beginning of this book, why the sudden change? He's just like, oh, I was just really nervous, you know, I don't really know what to do because you're like my crush. I don't buy that. And he kisses her without her permission. It was just horrible because Stella was just really upset that someone kissed her. So she runs to Michael, and I believe by this point Stella has feelings for Michael. She seeks him out and she tells him what happened, and I feel like he doesn't even really care about her well-being, because I remember him being like, wait a minute, he kissed you? Did you like it? Did you kiss him back? He just asked the wrong question, and I'm here like, no, you're supposed to be there for her, like come on, do better. He's just so angry that a guy kisses Stella, and I'm here like, he kisses her without her permission. Like I said, you need to be there for her. But Michael is like, no, I need to kiss you, Stella. I need to kiss you because the thought of someone kissing you is just not cool. And she says no because by this point she's just so upset that someone kisses her. I think she talks about how the taste of him is still on her and she needs to get it out. So you can tell that this girl is not okay, but Michael insists that they was kissed. I was so fucking upset. Let me try to find that part. Page 237. This is the book of the month edition. I'm not perfect, Michael. I'm really not. Did you kiss him back? She shook her head. No. Did you like it when he kissed you? Because he had to know. Not at all, she whispered. Why? Did he do it wrong? Was he a bad kisser? She says it felt wrong. He asked why. And then she says, because he wasn't you. Girl, what? And then he says, going to kiss you. He had to. If he didn't, he would go crazy. She says, don't. He's in my mouth. I can still taste him. I can't get him out. And then it says, he released a fierce growl. I need this, Stella. And then she just gives in, but it's just... something about the scene irks me because she says no. She has every reason to say no, and he has every reason to not fucking do it. And then it says right here, he worked her skirt open and slipped his hand into her panties, almost groaning from the liquid. Oh, okay, anyway. And then it says, who was that for? Him or her co-worker? There's just something about this scene that's just so gross. It's so gross. Oh yeah, let's talk about this. So the guy Philip, the co-worker who kissed her without her permission, at the end, after this fallout that she has with Michael, she goes out with him on a date. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then of course at the end, it was just a mess because Michael and Stella had like a miscommunication. Yeah, the book ends and I was like, fucking finally. Even though I love the Vietnamese culture, it's not enough for me to recommend this book to anyone. Don't read this book. Just don't. Number 3 on this list is Roomies by Christina Lauren. So Christina Lauren is definitely one of my favorite authors. I have read a lot of their books. If you don't know, it's actually 2 people, Christina and Lauren. I feel like for the past few years or so, they have been writing a lot of standalone books. I was reading their books in publication order because it just makes sense in my mind. So I read Roomies in June, I think, and oh my god, it was not good. So this book follows a main character, Holland, and she has a crush on this guy named Calvin. And in the beginning of this book, Holland is attacked by a homeless man. Calvin sees everything, he calls the police, and he just leaves. He's just like, huh, you're on your own. And then we find out that his green card is expired and he's in the United States illegally. And then of course Holland is doing her uncle a favor, and then she has an idea to marry Calvin so he can stay in the United States. He's a really great musician. It's best for him to be in this Broadway show that her uncle is doing. The characters, oh my god, I don't care about them. By the end, I was just getting really frustrated. We have this immigration storyline because Calvin is in the States illegally, and of course they're getting married because they need Calvin to stay in the country. The stake is just so freaking low. It's a very important topic, and I don't know, it was not executed well because everything was just so easy for the characters regarding that. But then of course when it comes to their romantic relationship, it was just a mess. Like, of course we know that they're gonna fall in love, they're gonna be together and stuff, but of course there's like a misunderstanding. Calvin fucks up towards the end. And then also we have a side character named Lulu. So she's like the best friend of the main character. She's a real bitch. We keep her around until the last chapter of the book. I just don't understand why, because Holland has every reason to ditch her friend, okay? She could have ditched her friend in the middle of the book and I would have been okay with that because I want this bitch to be gone. But then of course we get to see her being like, Lulu, you're a shitty friend. I don't want to be your friend anymore. It's in the last chapter. By that point, I was done with the book. So of course, her pushing Lulu out of her life is not satisfying at all because she should have done it sooner. So that's basically it for Roomies. I feel like when it comes to Christina Lauren's books, you should skip this one. It's not worth it at all. I think this is like my least favorite book from the authors. There are so many books from them. So if you want to read a really good adult romance novel, you can just check out anything else and not this, okay? Don't read this. The second book on this list is The Tall by Neil Schusterman. This one hurts because when I was doing my list, I was like, oh my god, I have to put this book second place. It did not live up to the hype. I'm sorry. I'm disappointed as well. If you don't know, this is the 3rd book of the Arc of Scythe trilogy. So here's the thing. I feel like my feelings for this book is similar to Everything I Never Told You. Everything is good except the fucking ending, okay? But I'm gonna put this book second place because this is the final book of a trilogy and I just had really high expectation because the second book was so good. Thunderhead was excellent. When we got this book, I just thought to myself, it's gonna be great because Thunderhead was really great. But not just that, a lot of people gave it like 5 out of 5 stars. I give this book 3 out of 5 stars. It's not so bad, but the ending was rushed. Okay, this book is pretty thick. I think this is definitely the longest book out of the entire trilogy. You would think that everything will be wrapped up nicely at the end. No, everything is rushed at the end, guys. We had so many storylines in this book, and then of course everything connects together at the end, but everything was just happening and then the book ends. I'm like, wait a fucking minute, am I missing something? And then of course the main villain, his downfall is not satisfying for me. Okay, I don't want to say too much because it is spoilery, but let me just fucking say that the fact that someone he trusted stabbed him in the back for the wrong reason too, that's like an issue. She did this shit for the wrong reason, and that is not good. Okay, that's not good. This main villain, he's a big threat from book 1 to now. We see so many horrible things he did in the past, and it's like he gotta fucking die. Okay, in order to achieve peace, he needs to die, and of course he does. He does, but I'm not happy about it because it's not satisfying to me. It's not, and I know that it's not. I know that I'm not overreacting. Okay, I'm not overreacting. It's just not satisfying. The romance isn't good, but that's nothing new because the romance is not good in the first book. Second book, Schusterman does such a good job with everything except for the romance. This is my least favorite book of the entire trilogy. And now the most disappointing book for me. This one hurts so much, all right? This one hurts a lot. It is Butterfly Yellow by Trinh. This one hurts the most because I was so excited for this book. I did not even know that it was coming out. So a publisher reached out to me and they're like, hey, we know you're Vietnamese. Actually, they did not fucking say that, but I think they reached out to me because I'm Vietnamese and I always want to read books about Vietnamese main characters and also written by Vietnamese author. And I have read other books from Trinh. I think she's a very great author. I have like 2 of her books over there. When I learned about this book, I was like, oh my god, I would love to read it. I would love to do a review on it. And I just didn't like it. I'm so sorry. This book follows a main character named Hằng, and she's from Vietnam. This takes place like right after the Vietnam War has ended, or like a few years after the war has ended. So basically when Saigon fell in 1975, I believe, the main character lost her brother because they were trying to go to the United States, but then of course there were complications. So her younger brother was taken away and he was sent to America. Meanwhile, Hằng, the main character, is left behind in Vietnam. 6 years have passed. She finally gets to America. She's trying to find her brother and trying to, you know, reunite and everything, but of course her brother does not remember her. So that is like the synopsis of this book. Guys, this book got me into a reading slump. I read this book in November, I think, October to November, and it put me in a reading slump, and I was just like, oh no, this is not happening. The biggest issue I have with this book is the fact that we don't really focus on the main character and her brother. Like, yeah, it's there. We see the younger brother, and of course he does not remember her, and she's trying to do whatever it takes to basically have her brother back in her life, but that's not what we focus on in this book. We focus on the main character and this cowboy named Leroy. Okay, so she gets to America and then she meets this guy and then he helps her a lot and eventually they get into a romantic relationship. I'm like, what the fuck is this? I don't care about Leroy. Okay, I don't. When I picked up this book, I thought we were going to focus on the main character and her younger brother because this is important. Okay, like I know that a lot of people have been separated from their family at the end of the Vietnam War. It's something that I know about because I'm Vietnamese and I've heard so many stories about this and I learned this in class. So I thought we were gonna focus on that and we didn't. The only thing that I can relate to when it comes to the main character is that when she gets to America, she's not really good with English. So she can understand English, I think, and then she knows English, but she cannot speak the language well. That's just very realistic because the way people talk here in America is much different from how we talk in Vietnam. And of course, when you're trying to translate to a different language, it's just like a mess. Okay, so I do understand that because I went through the same issue when I was like 8 years old. The core of the story is supposed to be between the main character and the brother, and we don't have that. The last half of this book, I feel like we just kind of abandoned that storyline and we focus on the main character and the cowboy. and I don't want to see that. So yeah, it's number 1 on this list. I'm very sad about it, like I really am, but I'm gonna keep this copy because it's annotated and I don't think anyone want my copy, so I'm gonna keep it, but I'm very disappointed in it. The lighting is getting darker, so it's time for me to stop this video because I have to film another one. Like I said, if you like any of these books, like please don't be offended. I am not trashing you at all. I'm not. I'm just critiquing these books in an angry way. So the next video will be my favorite books of 2019. I'm very excited for that video. If you don't like seeing me being angry and stuff, you can watch that video because I'm sure I will be happy. So that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe for more videos, and I will see you guys later. Goodbye.